Welcome back to the For the Win podcast, everybody. Halo is going down in flames. It is absolutely just plummeting to the earth, and we're going to talk about that today. Lots and lots to cover. The state of Halo MCC, we got some new updates on that. The state of Halo Infinite, like even grassroots partners like Mint Blitz are saying it is the worst experience ever, and he's literally telling people not to play Halo Infinite. So we're also going to kick around the second half. What should the future of Halo be? Should we just retire the game and just settle it, like the Beatles, like timeless art, and just let it be? Forget about it, leave it in the past? Or should we continue to just try and milk it for all it's worth? So we're going to talk about that first half, second half, and for the win. Two comments on last week's episode. First one was from our dad. He said, "You never read my comments on your podcast. LOL. Here's a question for you. Do you remember where you were when President Trump's assassination went down?" Well, first of all, he didn't get assassinated. Attempted assassination went down.
Attempted.
Yeah. Didn't we talk about that on last week's podcast?
Yeah. It sounds like he doesn't watch our podcast.
Yeah, I don't think he was listening. Yeah, he just commented. Because I was at a family reunion and you were
working in the yard.
Yeah, you said that. And then Bjorn, our favorite commenter.
Bjorn!
Great video as usual. I can understand your disappointment with the Halo TV show. When I saw the Assassin's Creed movie, I was like so on it. I felt they missed so much in that film, even though the main actor is great. It's just the producers and directors missed the mark. What is your opinion on it? Keep up the great work, guys. Did you see the Assassin's Creed movie?
No, with Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah, I never saw it.
I missed that one.
We'll have to check it out.
I remember at the time that it released, people, video game movies still had like a very long history of just being just awful. And usually they weren't even like starring A-list celebrity like Jake Gyllenhaal. So there was a lot of people that were just like, this is the best video game movie ever, just by default, because it has a great actor actually starring in it, which they had it before then.
Not a lot to compare it to, too.
Yeah, I forget what year that came out though, but I totally forgot about that movie.
And that wasn't Prince of Persia? Wasn't there a Prince of Persia movie too? No, I'm thinking of something else.
Aladdin. I don't know.
No, that's not what I'm thinking of. Okay, well, before we get into all the Halo drama, and also talk about Marty. Oh wait, your hat. Marty actually tweeted out this hat right here this week, just the other day, and I was actually taking a nap, and my brother was trying to call me, and I was asleep, and then he called my wife, and he was like, "Wake him up," and he told me to check Twitter, and Marty posted, "I'm not, I'm finally," what did he say? "I'm not afraid to wear this hat in public anymore," something like that, and that was the hat that I sent him, so it's pretty cool, and I got, a bunch of people hitting me up for orders. We'll get into more of that later, but we're going to play some Halo, some MCC Halo, gotta clarify. John, what are the skulls we have on right now?
Well, we can't play multiplayer.
Right.
So we're doing Halo 2. We're going to start at Cairo Station. Playing normal, but we have 16 skulls on. So it's looking like this will be a little crazy. I got some stuff turned on to ramp up the difficulty.
Put fog on?
Yeah, no radar.
Oh, okay. I thought that was no HUD.
No motion tracker. So a couple things to make it, the enemies a little bit harder, but then a bunch of stuff to make it just insane. So
sweet.
We'll see how it goes.
Let's do it.
Get a little crazy. So
I love it. Well, I want to take us back to do a little history lesson. Go back to Bungie, which is having all their own problems right now, but a ragtag crew of game developers. This is so good, right?
Classic graphics only.
Yeah.
Except for the cutscenes. You can switch to the cutscenes.
What's crazy is see their drone cameras.
Mm-hmm.
That I think when this released, that like really wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Like drones weren't at all. Maybe in the military, and there were giant ships. And now that's real life. Like they're doing drone stuff. Anyways, let's go back because we need to get caught up to where we're at today to kind of spur our discussion of what should the future of Halo be. I've been thinking about this for like the last 6-8 months or so, because when we interviewed Marty, he in a part of the interview that was like offline, it was just us talking. I don't think he said it in our published one. He said, because I asked, what do you think the future of Halo should be? And he was pretty much like, I don't really know, blah, blah, blah. He said, maybe it should be like the Beatles. That's what he said. And, they had their moment, they had their time. And
then Yoko Ono came in and screwed it all up.
Yeah, we'll get to that. That's 343. That's Yoko Ono. 343 is Yoko Ono. But his sentiment was like, I don't know. Like, it could go on if the right people got a hold of it. Or, maybe it should just retire. Like the Beatles and just kind of go off in the sunset. And it just lives in that time. It just is what it is. And you just go back to it when you want to enjoy it or whatever. And so going back, Bungie created Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3. They kind of grew into these projects, and they were hit after hit after hit. And there's a lot of reasons for that, mainly because they're extremely talented, but they're also passionate. They have a fierce love, for the franchise. Right. We don't need to rehash, all the behind-the-scenes videos, and you can just see this crew working on this game. And then, Microsoft, they wanted to get out of Microsoft. And so, Marty said he was one of the people who helped kind of lead the charge to get Bungie out of Microsoft so they could do their own thing. Mm-hmm. And obviously Microsoft did not love that at all. And eventually...
Makes me wince every time.
Eventually, they got out, and Microsoft created 343 Industries, which became the new Halo studio, and they hired a bunch of people, not a bunch of people who used to work on Halo games. They kind of rejected all those people, and they only brought in people who were new and some people who didn't even love Halo that much, and yada, yada, yada. Now we're here, Halo 3, this studio has released Halo 4, Halo 5, and Halo Infinite. And all of their releases have just been lackluster. People aren't playing Halo 4 anymore. People aren't playing Halo 5 anymore. Halo Infinite, as we're going to get to, is in complete shambles. And so they've had 3 shots. 3 shots to get it right. Mm-hmm. And they have failed every time. Whereas you look at Halo 1, 2, and 3, across the board, everyone say these games hold up. Straight up. Like, even as dated as some of the things or whatever, these games hold up. And this week, and they also did Halo MCC, which, they quoted as like, oh, it's supposed to be our love letter to Halo fans, which actually was a slap in the face. But, so Halo MCC multiplayer is currently in the game is just in a terrible state. And they aren't updating it. They aren't working on it. Halo Infinite, same type of thing. They are you can just tell they're moving away from it day after day after day. And there's less and less, the content is being drip fed, and it's so bad right now. Mind you, this game is only 2 years old. They've promised a 10-year plan. It's so bad right now that even probably the most optimistic Halo YouTuber and popular one literally just put out a video about the latest update, said it's great, but it doesn't matter, and he said the game is unplayable, and he's like, don't play Halo Infinite. Words verbatim, don't play it until they fix this. And the servers haven't worked for 2 weeks. And it's like, what are we even doing? So 343's flagship live service game is an absolute shambles, doesn't work. MCC shambles, doesn't work. Hackers running rampant. Like, whoa! How'd I die? What are you doing?
Flying.
What? Oh, you're toast. Get to safety. I need to respawn. Oh, no. I didn't even know you could fly. I didn't know you had that on.
That's so crazy school's on.
So here's the question. We see that Halo Infinite is an absolute failure and getting worse, actually. Usually these games get better, but now they're getting worse. What should the future of Halo look like? Like, what are we doing? What should we do?
What should we do? That's a great question. What I would like to see happen. I don't know how I died.
What would you like to see happen?
I mean, I've shared a couple times on here on that it's just insane to me that like the original version, the Xbox version of Halo CE isn't backwards compatible. And you can't buy Halo CE as like an Xbox original off of the Microsoft Xbox store.
Mm-hmm.
So
what the?
I don't even know how I'm dying.
How did you die?
I don't know. Something's like hitting me.
So backwards compatibility.
Yeah, so I want
A lot of names.
the original games to be backwards compatible.
Yeah.
Halo 1 and 2. Like, it's the same for Halo 2. You can't buy Halo 2 as an Xbox original. Even if they release them, digital only, but as a... oops, I keep clicking the wrong buttons.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to be able to play Halo 1 and 2 in their original glory.
Mm-hmm.
And there we go. That's how you do it. Like just play them original. I don't want the PC port, the MCC version of either game. And I wish they would release them as like Halo 1, 2, and 3, and even you don't have to. I don't even want like online multiplayer, but release like a LAN party version of the games.
Yeah.
So that they're super easy. You can just LAN every single game. Have 1, 2, and 3 all on like one game. That's just super easy just to LAN.
Have you brought this up before, like LAN edition? Did we talk about this?
Yeah.
Like Halo LAN edition?
Right.
They could even do 4 and 5 on there, honestly. Not that I would want to play it, but like...
Yeah, maybe even... I mean, because Reach... I was never just
Reach.
like into Reach, like...
Yeah.
Because it came out like in a weird time in my life, and so I was very much Halo 1, 2, 3, and then by the time Reach came out, like, I was out of college, and it was, we were just, it didn't feel like it was like the next Halo game.
No.
Like Halo 3 wrapped everything up story-wise, and like while it was a prequel, it still felt,
Yeah.
it felt very different from Halo 3.
I'm getting lit up in those explosions over there. Yeah, it was very
just when it
different.
comes to the armor abilities and all the equipment and sprint and loadouts and things like that, where it's just like it's not quite like the Halo that I grew up playing. So never got super into it. But I know for a lot of people that's like a lot of people's favorite one. But yeah, having them like truly backwards compatible, and then just because you won't need to like have any more updates or like keep the game alive. Just like release the finished product,
Right.
release the original versions as finished products, and then like that's it.
Right.
Like, you don't have to do anything else. You know. So I mean that's like probably like the main thing, just to like preserve.
Yeah.
And then I might have just killed you with that.
Bruh, you made yourself.
It hit the body.
So preserve, but what about like, the next iteration of Halo? Because we know for a fact that 343 is working on the next iteration of Halo, whether that's the full next game or a spin-off. We don't really truly kind of know what that is. But do you want to see more Halo experiences made, or are you like burned out and just want the Halo LAN edition with like, all that stuff and then just call it good? Or
well, I think
he just stuck me in the face.
Just got stuck. I think
They're so cool. Where's the BR?
I think really like I just really don't want 343 to get another shot at like a mainline Halo game. And 1, 2, and 3, while everyone like loved the multiplayer, they were also like the campaign was like the anchor. There's a lot of people that only played Halo for the campaign and for the story, and so Halo 4's story was good, and I liked like the Cortana storyline and things, but the actual like gameplay of the campaign, it was just like run around and put Cortana into things.
Oh, Halo 4 you're talking about?
Yeah. So that like, while like, the emotion of the story and things like that and like all of that I enjoyed and like, loved Cortana as a character in that game, was awesome. But like the actual like gameplay of the campaign was just like Halo 4, run around and put Cortana into things, and like that was it. And then Halo 5 had easily the worst Halo campaign.
Oh, Soda Machine blocked my plasma.
I've ever played in my entire life. Like I was, even with Halo 2, I was like, not necessarily, I love the campaign, but like still wasn't totally a fan of like playing as anyone other than the Master Chief.
Yeah.
So to go and play as the Master Chief for like a couple missions in Halo 5, and then playing as Locke and all those Spartans, and the advertising for the game made it seem like it was going to be something totally crazy, and it was not that at all. And it was literally one of the most boring FPS campaigns like I've played in my entire life. Like, who at 343 would think that like walking through a human base on a planet and like listening to people talk would be like a fun Halo experience? Like, you have to be so out of your mind to think that that's even like a playable section of the game. Like, it's just completely ridiculous. But I did like Halo 5's multiplayer way more than Halo 4's multiplayer, so there is that. Just flying through the level.
So you would want more iterations of Halo if it's a totally new studio, basically.
If it's a new studio, or I mean, I would even take 343 doing, spin-offs of things. But what I was kind of getting at was, the story was like kind of like the anchor and like provided like the emotion for,
and the music.
yeah, the music and the emotion like that like sets up like the multiplayer almost, like
Right.
everyone is playing as like the same like Spartan or Master Chief, and like you take cues from the story and the campaign of like what, how powerful he is, and what you're able to do as a super soldier out on the battlefield against other super soldiers and things like that. So to say that, like, 343's campaigns just like haven't like done anything. Like they
Totally.
Halo Infinite had like some good moments, but like they went open world and like left most of the world completely barren and empty, and you could see that they just like stopped working on the game because they either ran out of time or resources or something, because there's this entire
But you can't stick it.
sections of the map that are just completely empty and unfinished.
Whoa, dude, look at the space fighting up above. I never have seen that before. Look at...
Really?
Dude!
Yeah, we're in the middle of the whole war right now.
About to get this crazy stick right here. Oh, wait. They're dead.
So I guess what I would like to see is if there's like a good enough story to tell, then sure, go ahead and like make another Halo game.
Oh.
But like the actual like narrative of like 4, 5, and Infinite, like I think they focused way too much on trying to like tie in like the books and the lore and the things that most Halo fans don't know anything about. Because I mean, the Bungie trilogy kept it so simple. It's like, okay, aliens are invading Earth and we're
Right.
fighting them and saving humanity, and then we find out they're motivated for their religious reasons, and they actually don't know what they're doing either, because they're going to destroy the entire universe and all that.
Right.
There's like all that kind of stuff, but it's very simple and like easy to follow, like you know who the bad guys are. I think that might be ever.
Throwing plasmas around a bomb. How good is that? Oh!
You don't want to know.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in line with that. But I even lean... Well, look at the white... I even lean more towards just retiring the IP altogether. I 100% know for a fact that 343 just doesn't have what it takes. It just... it's like going to an orange tree and expecting apples.
Yeah.
For the last decade, Halo fans have gone to an orange tree and been like, let's see if we can pick some apples. And we're getting oranges. And we're just like, what? Like, what's going on? It's like so obvious now. It's like the first time Halo 4, and you're like, okay, this is their first time. They're trying to do something new, whatever. Second time, okay, not great. Like there's some wins with the multiplayer, even though they've deviated super far from what made Halo multiplayer unique. And then, Halo Infinite, disaster. Like they returned to some of the core multiplayer like mechanics, but the whole game is a whole absolute disaster. And here we are over 2 years later. The game is maybe in a worse state. Servers aren't even working. Like, it's a terrible, terrible thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of like, I don't want 343. I don't want Microsoft, because like Microsoft is equally to blame for this. Like, you go all the way up the line, they're all signing off on things, you know. Like, Microsoft continues to allow this to happen.
Yeah. Which is so confusing to me, because it seems as if, like, you could say from our government to, like, corporate America, it seems like people just don't get fired anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's like mass layoffs, but no one's like getting fired for like doing a horrible job. And if I was running Microsoft or running Xbox, and I saw the kind of product that Infinite was, or even Halo 5, and how well received like the campaign was, or something like that, like whoever wrote that, whoever decided that walking through a map is Halo, like, they're gone. You know? And I know it's hard because, like, they still like sell, like, the games still sell.
But here's my theory on that. My theory is the reason Halo 4, Halo 5, and Halo Infinite have sold is because of the strong brand that Bungie built in Halo 1 through Reach. Yeah. It's not because those games are great. It's because it's so good. It's like kind of like a Disney effect, right? Like, Disney had those golden years where Disney was so incredible that their IP is so strong now that they have leeway. And they have, like, 10, 15 years of duds and maybe a couple wins to, like, get by. You know what I mean? And so my theory is that the reason they're still allowed to do this is because, they are selling, but it's only because of all the work that Bungie did on 1 through 3, because they were so good. But I think that day is coming. You know what I mean? Like, if this next one they put out falls flat on its face, which I predict it will, like, they're going to be that much closer. And I think it's going to take more. Unfortunately, like, we look at it and we go, this is insane. Like, 10 years of failure. But the Halo brand is so incredible and so strong that people jump on it and forget about the last 10 years. That's my take on that, because you're right. They have sold. Mm-hmm. Like, I looked up the numbers. I'm like, dang, Halo 4 really did sell. Halo 5 really did sell,
And the Infinites, that's like a big question mark. Nobody really knows.
Yeah, I don't think they'll ever release that, because they would, that would, it's just a failure. Oh,
I'm going way out of here.
So, I would, in a perfect world, we have an amazing Halo live service game that's like, as content rich as something like Fortnite, and like gets great updates and yada yada, and that'd be great. But Halo Infinite right now is basically the opposite of that. It's like the worst live service game ever to exist. And it hasn't had, like, it's the most content light thing you've ever experienced in your life.
Yeah.
So my take is, to sum it up, is I actually think the more I think about it and the more this goes on and failure after failure happens. Geez, we're already here?
I just flew over here.
The more I think about it, the more I actually would be okay with Halo, like, retiring, like, being done.
Yeah. I would be okay if I got the backwards compatible Xbox One and 2. Like,
right.
Let me do that.
Have a way to play on your Series X.
Halo 3 is still backwards compatible.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But if it just retired, even though it's kind of ending on a sad note with like Halo, with Halo Infinite being so bad, it's just kind of like it makes me sad to see, this just like get abused like this. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, yeah, it's such a work of art, and then to see it just get used and abused and mistreated for so long, it's just kind of like, I don't want to keep experiencing that. Do you know where you're going?
Kind of. I have an idea.
I just heard a skull. How did that happen? Birthday skull.
Oh.
I wonder if they ever thought players would be doing this. Is there a way in from here, though?
Where am I?
Turn on anniversary graphics. I don't know where I'm going. I was just following you. We were supposed to go in the tunnel.
Can you sneak through there?
No, I don't think so.
I got lost.
I just changed the graphics.
Oh, here. Now I can see where I am.
Yeah, I changed the graphics to maybe give us a fighting chance here. I'd be curious what other people thought. Like, if you're listening and you made it this far, do you think Halo should... Oh, right here. Look. Boom. Boom.
See, I knew there was something over here.
Wait, I just fell through the level. Wait. What the... Oh, wait, maybe I have to turn.
Oh, yeah, it's not there. Okay, turn it back on. I think we gotta go back and spawn this in the...
Oh my gosh.
Maybe this way?
If you're listening, I'm curious. Wait, which way are we going?
I'm trying to think.
Just go to the end of the level. Oh, it stops. We should go to the last checkpoint. This is chalked. This is absolutely chalked. Do you think Halo should retire? Do you think... Oh, you can't even... Oh, no! Okay, out.
Hey, we got a checkpoint.
Out the thing. Should we retire Halo and just let it be? Get backwards compatibility and call it? Do we want to just get another decade of like mistreatment? I'd be curious what everyone thinks, what your opinions are. Oh, dude, I'm like stuck. There's an invisible wall here.
Go higher.
True. Oh yeah, there we go. Because it's sad, as sad as it is to say, I really do. I'm just kind of done. I'm like, I'm done until I'm proven wrong. But I just don't want to like, don't make a girl a promise you can't keep.
Right.
It's pretty much where it's at right now, unironically. And there's been a lot of promises over the last decade that you just like, it's just been nothing but disappointment. So I'm done with that. It's such, like, being a Halo fan last 10 years has been like a really toxic relationship. Like,
Yeah.
you would never like tell someone to stay in relationship with someone who like makes promises, mistreats, consistently lets you down. You know what I mean? It's just like ridiculous.
Yeah.
And we just keep the cope in the Halo community is just so crazy, man.
I mean, the only reason Halo's relevant at all is right now is because of the community and the Forged community in particular, and
Right.
343 is doing nothing to like give them any recognition or support or anything, and they're just using their maps instead of making their own.
Mm-hmm.
And You know, that like really upsets me when it comes to Infinite. It's like, dude, you guys aren't even like creating anything for your supposed live service game.
Right.
Like, even if you just give Infinite a grade based solely on how it has performed just as a live service game, not as like a FPS, not as like a Halo game, not as anything like that, just like live service. How is it doing? It's like miserable. It's horrible.
Yeah.
And like nothing feels worth it. There's like nothing of value. You don't earn, you don't progress. Like when compared to like a Fortnite or an Apex or, you know, even like a Diablo or something, you know.
Yeah.
Like those are live service games that like keep people around and keep people playing. And the cosmetics are actually cool and earnable and
maybe not with Diablo, but I mean there are cool ones though, but they're not earnable.
But they're not just like a shoulder piece or the color blue or you know, something like that
for $20.
Yeah. So that whole, I mean, I think going like free to play and cross-play is just like horrible for Halo as a series.
Horrible. So let us know your thoughts. I would be so curious if other people like would agree, like they would be okay with Halo just kind of calling it, you know what I mean? Like just let it live, you know what I mean? Like Splinter Cell kind of did that, you know. They had a couple duds and then they kind of were just like, okay, yeah, this isn't like this isn't working. But I think there's a lot of games that kind of just do their thing and then they retire, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they just live and like people love them and they play them still, and it is what it is. Like I don't think that everything has to just keep going forever and ever and ever and new iteration. This is crazy. After new iteration after new iteration, you know, like it's okay if Halo had its time. Because honestly, I think like without the crew, you know, like that original Bungie crew, without you know, without Joe and without Marty and without what's his name, Jason and that whole crew, you know, Harvey, all these guys, like they were Halo, you know what I mean? Like it was them. And like if they're not in it, it's just, you can see the identity is like kind of gone, and it's just like they were the soul. That's what it is. Like they were the heart and soul of the games, and you kind of just see like the heart and soul is, you know. And that's not to say that the people at 343 Industries don't work hard or, you know, are passionate or whatever. It's like, but the proof is in the pudding, you know. The fruit is like what we've seen the last decade. It is what it is. Like you can't escape that.
I do think that like Halo really is just like a victim of, you know, what modern gaming has become. And you know, when Bungie was developing like Halo 1's multiplayer, like the thing that they had on the very front of their mind is it fun and can friends play together?
Right.
You know, is it fun? That was like their guiding principle.
Would they say 5 seconds of fun or something?
Yeah, there's something like that. But now, like, games aren't made to be fun anymore. They're made to make money and extract as much money from the consumer as humanly possible. So they're made to like keep you playing, even if the game isn't fun and a chore and work and all of that. So, and you can just tell just from I mean, play Halo 1 4-player split screen with like just 4 people 2v2, and you'll have
A blast.
way more fun than logging into Infinite and trying to play a casual match on Infinite. Like, it's crazy how different just like the fun factor is.
Totally. That's so good, dude. 20 years later, and we're still quoting this. We still love this. We still, like... And it's so funny because the lip reading, like, the lip animation, you know, the mouth animation is something like back then they... You know, now it's like they didn't nail it perfect, but it's like, again, the voice acting is so good. The writing is so good. This like the character Johnson is so lovable. That's like you don't even care. Like we never even thought about that.
How
It's
did
just
he
like,
get off that ring?
I know. It's just so good, dude. You can't fake it. You can't fake it. Yeah, the modern gaming has definitely killed it, and I wish Phil. Like, there's a lot of things I really like about Phil Spencer. People, you know, maybe a bit controversial to some people, but I wish he would, like you said, like, get some gonads and just be like, hey, this is an absolute train wreck. And, you know, maybe with letting Bonnie and Frankie and those people go, I don't know if that was his call. Like, we don't know, or, you know, we have no clue what goes on behind the scenes, but, like, I don't know. This next game could very likely be, like, I don't know, dude. You would think Infinite would be, like, the end, but if this next one is as bad as Infinite,
Yeah.
I think you have to put Halo into cryo sleep.
Drop the tank into the water.
It's so good. Like, I don't think you, like, I think you would be stupid to, like, keep going if they 4 games in a row just botch them.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It seems like such a waste of resources, but we'll see, dude. I listened to a video from Faven, I think is how he says his name, and he was talking about kind of the next Halo, and he's like, this is it. He's like, I don't have 3 more Halo games in me. You know, he's like our age. He has kids. You know, he has a kid. Like, he's like, if this one doesn't hit, like, that'll be it for me. He's like, I'm getting, like, you know, too old, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to, like, do YouTube talks and reviews about Halo games, you know, till I'm 45. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Especially if it's like, you know, what, 6-7 years between releases.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, man, it's just like, well, the future of the franchise is going to be, it's going to be very, dude, these grunts, did you turn on something where they're throwing way more nades? You had to have, because they're throwing nades like crazy.
I'm already past that part.
Dude, flying. Literally.
Get on the scarab.
Wait, I want the snipe. This
Take me home,
setup is so
Scarab.
cool too.
Take me home.
I'm coming. Oh. Well, we'll see what happens, man. It's gonna be crazy. We're gonna be probably, because how old are you now? I don't know. Because I'm 33. So what? You're 35.
I think 36.
I think 36. I don't know. So yeah, we'll probably be, you know, late 30s, mid 30s by the time the next Halo comes out. You could potentially be 40.
Yeah.
By the time
used
the next
to be
Halo
only
game
a
comes
few
out.
years between Halo releases.
I know.
343 just sucks.
They're just not up for the task at all.
It's not good.
So, yeah, that could be it. We will see. We will see. It's gonna be like interesting to see over the next few years, like who kind of bails. Like I quit playing Infinite a long time ago.
Despawned.
Oh shoot.
I mean, yeah, I haven't played Infinite since January of 2024, and I actually had MCC uninstalled and had to reinstall it just for this podcast because there's nothing to do in it outside of play the campaigns, because the multiplayer in both Infinite and MCC are just completely broken and scuffed and do not work. And
oh, let's jackal. Oh, I got sniped. Oh no.
And at MCC you can just get PC players are able to just hack and
run rampant
and ban you. They can spoof your gamer tag. They can do all kinds of things to just... The game's just broken. If you try to play any kind of ranked, come back here. So, and the Halo Infinite servers haven't been working for 3 weeks now. So, it's like, I don't know what you're doing, 343, but it's very clear that you've completely abandoned MCC.
Oh, where'd you get the soccer ball?
It's up on top of the building.
Nice.
Is there a single fun Easter egg in any of 343's games?
I'm sure there are some. Oh, dude, I just got hit by them. I'm sure there's something. Oh, shoot.
But yeah, the state of Halo multiplayer right now is horrible.
Yeah.
Like, I feel bad for anyone trying to just play either one because they just don't work or they're just full of cheaters. And I mean that brings us back
this
to
thing down.
The whole crossplay issue and whether or not it was actually good for the game or not.
Yeah.
I get that they just wanted a lot more people playing, but I mean you also had
Get back here.
millions of people playing Halo 3 at one point. So
yeah, millions.
I think if you make good games, people will play them. You don't have to do...
Yep, it's true. And like, what you think about it, like when Halo 3 came out, like we just never stopped playing it until basically until
Reach came out.
Until Reach came out. Until I moved out of the country and we weren't around each other. Like, there's no like reason we. Oh, achievement, nice. Is that me or you? Probably you.
Definitely you.
But there was no reason like why we stopped playing. It was just kind of like our lives kind of, all of us were kind of growing up.
Yeah.
The reason we stopped playing all the other games is because like they got bad. Like there was very real reasons gameplay wise, and that's the thing. Like we would be playing Infinite every single week if it didn't suck.
Yeah, because we played Halo 5 like a lot.
Right. And that multiplayer was like, even though it was a far cry from the kind of Halo multiplayer I like, at least it worked. Mm-hmm. In Warzone, there was kind of a fresh new kind of mode that was a little different, a little more casual.
Well, I think we played like Fiesta more than anything because there were so many different weapons and like you could get like the answer or like some random,
totally
specialized weapons that were fun to play with. So like I remember just like playing Fiesta nonstop. Like that was our go-to game type.
Right.
Like I was never super huge into Warzone. Like it was like fine.
Casual.
But yeah, what I still don't understand.
That just launched me.
Understand to this day is just like how all the steps like backwards.
Right.
From Halo 5 to Infinite.
So much regression.
And I just like still just like do not understand it like at all. Like how did that happen? Where was it? Was it on this one? Oh, maybe it was way up here.
Oh. I'm in the thick of it. Where? Oh, you're getting the... Oh, yeah.
I'll be right there.
I remember I only got this one time, legitimately, when I heard it could be done. And
Here, you want it?
No, that's fine. You can
take it, shoot it.
I did it one time, legit, like on my Xbox. You know, how do we even get back to where we were?
Straight down.
And how does it look? Bet you weren't expecting it.
Got him.
Killed him. Yeah, and then but it was like so hard to get the Banshee into the tunnel for the first step that once I finally did it, I probably tried for hours as a kid. And once I finally did it, I was like, okay, I'm never doing that again. That was cool. That was awesome, whatever, but I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we'll see, man. It's like crazy how worse it's getting, and so much so that actually I don't even know what prompted Marty O'Donnell to tweet out the hat that I sent him. I don't know why he tweeted that, but he tweeted out, if you guys saw, a picture of the hat that I sent him. So after we have a guest on our podcast, I always send a follow-up email just thanking them for coming on the podcast, and I say, hey, I have some merch as a gift. Can we send you some? And so with Marty as well, we did that. And he's like, yeah, sure. And it's Halo stuff, so I thought he'd like it. So I sent it to him, and he posted when he got it, he was like, hey, thanks for the stuff. And he posted a picture of the NES cartridge, which he thought was cool and blah, blah, blah. But I don't think he posted a picture of the hat. And I remember thinking, like, I wonder if it's too, controversial or a little, like, he doesn't want to stir the pot.
Yeah.
And that was a year ago. And since then, he's had his run for Congress, which, he didn't win, but he had, when you're running for politics, you got to just be outspoken. It's a dog-eat-dog world. And so he very much, I think, came out of not out of the box, but he just came forward with what he thinks about things, what he believes about things. He's like quit being kind of quiet about it.
Yeah.
Because he's running for Congress, and people got to know where you stand on things. And now he tweeted out. Now I'm not afraid. What did he say? He said, I'm not worried about wearing this hat in public anymore.
Right. Something like that.
And I was like so surprised to see that like a year later. And it's like, yeah, I think people are like done. It's like a decade has passed. Halo's not great. It's not controversial to say that, and I'm fully done defending like 343. Anyone at this point who like defends, like, you're just ignorant and not even, it's just willful ignorance at this point. But Yeah, I thought that was pretty awesome that he tweeted that out. I was like, oh my gosh, dude, that's crazy. So he got me like, 20 something orders. People
Nice.
hitting the DMs and like, hey, do you have any more hats? So,
Start a revolution.
yeah. Well, it's crazy. What's interesting to me is like, Marty tweets it out. Everyone sees that. You know what I mean? So like people at 343 will see that. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's
Mint Blitz
true.
will see that. Like influencers, like
It's true.
a lot of people DM me. They're just Halo fans who share the sentiment, and they're all like, "Dude, I need one of those." Like I feel it. But Marty putting it out there means that like a ton of, if not most of people who work at 343 are going to see that.
Yeah. And so here's the thing too, like to keep in mind when you think about like Halo's future is, a lot of us think of probably like Halo 3 as like the high point, especially for like online multiplayer and competitive multiplayer. Because, when Reach came out, they were trying to be more like Call of Duty and things like that, and they just kind of strayed from, what made Halo Halo. But like if you think of like the highest of the highs, like the height of Halo 3, it was so good and so popular and so fun like for like that time. Because if you think about it, it's like, okay, well, Halo 3 is available on Xbox and PC. Like, why isn't it putting up those same exact numbers right now? Mm-hmm. And, a lot of it is, well, it's like a really old game, obviously. But also, like, the stuff it was doing that was revolutionary at the time, like, isn't revolutionary anymore.
Correct.
And I think like Halo games in general have gone backwards from Halo 3, especially in social features and like the theater and file sharing and things like that. Like it's so bad now. But to get Halo back to like the highs of Halo 3, like there has to be innovation and there has to be something revolutionary, and they either have to they have to top Halo 3 to do that, and there's no way on earth 343 is going to be able to top Halo 3. And, like I said earlier, I think a lot of it has to do, too, just with the state of modern gaming. Like, it's, like, so hard to be innovative and revolutionary when you're beholden to shareholders and they want just what will work, and battle passes work, microtransactions work,
right?
And
it's
a lot of times the devs' hands are tied, but there's just like a lot of evidence of 343 just like not caring about Halo and not liking Halo's fans and things like that. So I don't really give them a pass on that, but
yeah, they treat the fan base with crazy contempt, unlike anything I've ever seen in a game. I mean, Activision Blizzard, which is like way bigger, like even because I have been into Diablo this last year, to see them go and the fans just going like Diablo 4 is so bad, just across the board, for the most part, unless they're casual players like me, so them going, hey, we hear you, and then actually making changes, even if it's like maybe not as fast as people want, but now the game is like 1 year on, it's like freaking awesome.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Whereas the attitude coming from 343 is like, it's a joke. Like people post videos and clips of things happening that aren't, the game's broken in this area. And you have on the record, we have video footage of devs laughing in their face, calling them like they don't know what they're talking about, making fun of them. And it's just like night and day. And even when, like we just last week on X, there was a little, thing going on with, Unishek, the community manager of Halo, like paying out Mint Blitz and about like stuff he's posting and like being really sarcastic about it. And it's like, no, dude, like that's crazy. So the way they treat it's like the attitude, but then they can't deliver, you know, because if they were like crushing it and Halo was the best of the best and people were saying this, then it's like, well, you know, Tom Brady can talk smack.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, certain people, they can talk trash and they can get away with more. Because guess what? They deliver. But, like, 343 does the opposite of deliver. And then they, you know.
To be a fly on the wall at 343 and just, like, see, like, what are you guys doing? Like, what are you guys working on? Like,
yeah.
What is your plan?
Like, what do people do there every day?
Like, I know it's costing Microsoft tons of money to keep that studio open, and like, for what? Like, what is going on there? It's just so crazy to me. But
crazy. Well, I think we've you know, beat the dead horse long enough for the Wing Corner. Anything new or exciting in your world, in your life, personally or otherwise, to wrap up here?
No, I will say, like, been playing Call of Duty of all things.
Oh yeah, zombies.
Playing zombies.
It's a fun little change of pace.
Yeah, it's actually been kind of fun. Like it way better than like the original iteration of DMZ or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's been good. But yeah, nothing much to report on my end. It's just yeah, it's just
nice. Same old.
Same old.
Yeah, pretty much same old. With me, job situation is going good. I know, like, the last 10 episodes, it was like in between jobs. I'm really close to landing, hopefully, a new full-time gig doing YouTube channel management and YouTube creative strategy for a TV network, which is like super awesome. Super excited about it. Hope it all pans out for sure, because that's like that's a money job to have, you know, to like get paid to do YouTube stuff is awesome. So we'll see with that. And yeah, other than that, been playing some zombies. I'm gonna go hard on the new Diablo season as usual. And yeah, that's I don't know, I think that's it. If you made it this far, thank you. Leave a comment, leave a like, and we'll read it on the next podcast. GG's.